has she disappeared? Give her a second to see if she pops back.
Joys of technology.
I know. It always lets you down when
Uh,
you don't want it to, doesn't it? Always at that crucial moment. I literally did the same thing that I did last time. I thought I was like tidying up by closing windows and I kicked myself out. Anyway, Jack, over to you. Let's go. Hey, Julia. Morning, everybody. So for our qualified tutor conversation this morning, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little go at masterminding if someone is feeling brave to share a challenge and a win. I'll just set the scene of this. So we're offering from the 24th a pilot group for qualified tutors for supervision circles. So coming from an educational background myself, supervision is something I had not come across until I was in the coaching field. The thought of either coming into the staff room and saying, like, oh, that lesson went really badly, or goodness, I just had the most amazing lesson, and have all the judgment and the comments um, going on. It just felt very odd. And I actually wonder now, when I've seen colleagues have to leave the profession because they're burnt out and exhausted and feel a lot of as if they've failed in some way, which they absolutely have not, if perhaps supervision could have helped more of us stay in teaching, just because it gives you that really safe space. So the supervision circles are based on the health model. So my twin sister and partner in crime of Pursuit of Wisdom Coaching, Lorna Davies, her background is in children's occupational therapy. And within the NHS health profession, supervision is brought in from student level and it goes all the way up. It does not require you to stop when you get to a certain level of experience. It's a prerequisite, even just to pass your university, you have to have number of hours of supervision, and it doesn't matter how senior you are, you still have supervision. And it's just a really safe, non-judgmental space where you can bring challenges, wins, queries, ethical dilemmas, um, great, like really great ideas that you've had that you think, oh, this could actually benefit more children. And you have a safe space to unpack it, explore it, and then move on. And it helps to keep you safe. So when you're in that caring role, as we all are, um, sometimes taking on all that emotions and ideas and the worry and the stress of the people in front of you, um, you need somewhere to put it for yourself, or else it just stays with you. And that's what supervision can give you. So we've run a couple of little kind of taster sessions on a few Thursdays. So part of supervision circles would be a reflective piece, because when we actually reflect on our practice, reflecting our what's gone on, we can really learn from it and grow from it. So we had a little go at looking at something that went very well for us, and we've also had something that maybe didn't go as planned or surprised us. And I think a lot of people managed to come to the conclusion that a lot of it wasn't in your control in the first place. And also to just to forgive yourself a little bit that you actually can't control all aspects of all people. So what we're going to have a go off today is another element of supervision circles, and that is the masterminding session. So we're going to just unpack it all today, give you a little taster of it. So it might feel very unfamiliar to you. Some people might have experienced this before, but I'll just explain the format of it first of all. And just to be thinking, I'm going to set this on your reticular activating system in your brain. I will be asking for a very brave and courageous volunteer to share with us a challenge and or opportunity, and it's something you might want some clarity around. It might be something that you're pondering over or worrying about, and you would like to have a kind of like 360 look at it, with the kind of hive mind, eyes, and brains on it, like how to solve it, other ways to do things. So just have a think. If you've got something bubbling away in your life right now that we could all work together on to help you come up with solutions and possibilities, that is welcome. We welcome you into the space and invite you to do so. So the way this works is you have the person who is the mastermindee has 1 minute to explain their opportunity or challenge to us. Then the rest of us have 3 minutes where we can ask clarifying questions. And I cannot stress enough how important it is that no question is silly. If you do not truly understand the problem, you are not going to be able to give it your best ideas. So we have 3 minutes to do that so that we're all super clear on what the challenge and opportunity is. Then the person who's being masterminded can turn off their camera and put themselves on mute. So it's almost like they leave the room. And what that allows the rest of us to do is we're going to talk about their challenge or opportunity as if they are not there. The mastermindee, your role is to listen and make as many notes as you want on anything that you think, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way, or that really surprised me, or oh, yes, that would be a great idea. For the rest of us, it's really, really important that we do not hang back. We do not hold back ideas, because the way this works best is when we all fuel ideas off each other. So this is not like a staff meeting situation, when the head teacher says, who's got a good idea for the Christmas fair? And everyone kind of, puts their head down and thinks, well, I don't want to say anything. This is very much like, please, everyone share your good ideas, because your idea might spark off another idea and then another idea, and then that will actually become the solution that this person wants. There will be many ways to solve the challenge or opportunity. And it'll ultimately come down to what the individual feels suits them best. So there's no bad idea. It just might not be the right idea that aligns with them and their values and their purpose. Then after the 6 minutes is up, we invite the mastermindee back in by turning on their camera and unmuting themselves. And they have 1 minute just to feed back their insights, inspirations, anything that they think, yeah, I was hearing that for the first time and it was like that's what's going to help me the most. Okay, so that is how it works. Oh, sorry, my doorbell's going now. I do apologize if you can hear my doggies barking. I would ask also if someone else could be the timer, because whenever you do those personality tests, it always comes up for me and Lorna, actually, like, never be the timer in any situation. You're no good at it. So I take that on board, and I know it's not my strong suit. So Julia is saying that she can do the timer. So we have to be really strict on time, Julia. So I'll remind you what they are, but the first thing will be a minute to explain the challenge or opportunity. The next 3 minutes will be for the rest of us to ask any clarifying questions, and we can make notes and ideas. Then we're going to have 6 minutes of mastermindee, camera off, on mute, while we all unmute and discuss the opportunity with any ideas that we come up with, anything sparked for us. Then we'll have 1 minute feedback. Does that all sound okay? Does anyone have any clarifying questions of me before we get going? No? Brilliant. So then the next challenge comes to who would like to be the mastermindee? Who would like to be masterminded? So just take a minute to delve into your subconscious and just think, is there something bubbling away that actually having other people think about it on your behalf might be really, really helpful? It could be something to do with your tutoring business. It could be finding new clients. It could be doing this particular work with a tutee. It could be a difficult parent. It could be something that's not part of tutoring. It could just be you are a human being and everything about you is important.
If no one else can think of anything, I've got something that's only loosely.
Oh, sorry, is that Gillian talking?
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, darling, you went on.
No, I was waving my mouse around and accidentally muted myself again. So just saying, if no one else can think of something, I've got something, but it's only loosely connected with tutoring. Does that?
Yeah, that counts.
Okay.
You are a whole being. If we've got time, we might be able to fit in another one anyway. So, Gillian, would you take 1 minute to share with us what your challenge or opportunity is, please?
Okay, I have a 17-year-old son who has just gone to sixth form at a different school. So he leaves at 7:15 in the morning to get the tube, and he quite often doesn't get home till 7:30 at night. He stays at school to finish his homework. Because I mainly work evenings, it means I'm not seeing him. So I might actually cry. And it really upsets me. We don't get a chance to just chat anymore, really, and play with the dogs. And I've just been trying to think, is there a way I can finish earlier but still maintain my income? Because I'm a single parent as well, so I'm the only one supporting us. So I've got to work. And I love tutoring anyway, but I want a way of finishing earlier in the evenings, having more time, working maybe more during the day. So yeah, I don't even know if that's a minute or nearly a minute, but that's my issue.
Thank you so much, Gillian. That was a really brave share. Does anyone in the group have clarifying questions? Anything else we need to know? Yep, just unmute yourself and ask away.
Do you do
Sorry about that.
I just got a message popped up said the host has lost connection.
I know. I'm just wondering, Julia, would it be easier if you made me host? Would that keep the...
I just got chucked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all back in. So sorry,
Yeah.
Claire, you were going to ask a really good question.
Yes, I was going to ask, is it one-to-one tutoring face-to-face or online? What is
Most evenings it's one-to-one online. Monday evenings I do small groups face-to-face.
right?
Okay.
Why did he change sixth form?
Oh, because the school he was in before only went up to year 11. So he had to go to a new school for sixth form.
And weekends? I
work all day Saturday. We have a Sunday afternoon together, but because he's 17, he also wants to go out and do stuff. But we do have a little bit time. It's just during the week, I just feel we rarely touch base.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask, Gillian, what time you work until in the evenings? So what's your working schedule if he's home at 7:30?
Most often I work till 9-ish, give or take.
And what time do you start?
3:30-ish.
3:30 till 9.
It slightly depends day to day, but roughly.
Yeah, of course, roughly.
Okay. Is all your work UK based, Gillian?
Nearly all. Last year I had loads of Dubai students, but this year I've got one girl in Cambodia. That's my international presence this year.
And why is the Dubai area not happening at the moment?
I think I did it through a contact, and she moved back to the UK, and she still has contacts there, but the demand just isn't there at the moment.
What subject are you?
Maths.
Okay, I can put you in touch with someone.
Okay, so now we're getting on to the good stuff now. Okay, so Gillian, I'm going to ask you to turn off your camera and put yourself on mute. And we're going to imagine that you have now left the room.
Yes, say
Okay.
nice things.
Oh, we will always say nice things. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. As if other. Okay. And can I ask Julia, can you put us on 6 minutes, please, and let us know? Thank you. So, team, let's go for it. Just chuck out any ideas that you can think of that would help Gillian out.
I use a tutoring business,
Mhm.
and my afternoon students from midday until 3, 4-ish are
Mhm.
all in Dubai because of their contacts out there.
Mhm.
So, and I'm maths as well. So I can certainly point Gillian in their direction. It may,
In that
you know, it may
direction.
not suit her, because
Mhm.
I'm doing it through a business.
Mhm.
I'm taking a smaller income
Mhm.
because they're charging what I would charge, and therefore I'm receiving slightly less, but it is filling a lot of my afternoon slots. So
Brilliant.
that's a contact I'm certainly happy to pass on.
Thanks, Dee. Anyone got
I
any other ideas?
Yeah, I had exactly the same situation, trying to keep it very short. I met my husband, who was a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 worker, being a tutor evenings and weekends. When I very first met him and we were dating, we literally had Friday evening. And when it started to be, oh, this is going to be serious and we're getting married, I went out looking for something that was more Monday to Friday 9 to 5. And I came across Nudge, which I know QT know very well. And they work with children that are otherwise disengaged from school. So they are very much daytime, term time organisation. So it does give an income during the daytime.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Claire. Anyone else?
I have the same problem with my youngest daughter who works on I hardly see her.
Mhm.
But
So maybe.
I actually asked him if it's bothering him because teenagers want to do their own thing. As to, have they had that conversation? Oh, my video's off. Sorry.
All right.
So have they had that conversation
Mhm.
as to how much it's bugging him?
Yeah,
Because
and
yeah,
yeah, that's a good idea. And I just thought like if they've only got Sunday afternoons, if he knows, could that be protected time so that if Gillian's got to
yeah,
work on the Saturday, is that when he could see his friends and they actually make those kind of like they have like a regular slot where they meet up and they actually do something that they both enjoy. There was another part of me that just thought, could Gillian put her prices up slightly? Would even just like a small increase make any difference to how many hours she has to work, even if it was, I don't know. Has anyone got any other, just anything at all, anything you could think of?
Did anyone mention group work as a possibility? It's not something I would consider. It's not a fit for me, but it might be something that potentially could be a larger income earner. She's doing small groups.
Mhm.
I think Gillian said that she does some group tuition,
One-on-one.
doesn't she, as part of
Yeah.
the mix?
I'm also hearing some people have been telling me about their experience of actually contacting schools that they might actually benefit from, like kind of pupil premium. I think maybe that's what you were saying with the nudge. Like there might be some budget for one-to-one tuition in the specific area Gillian tutors in to maybe get some children to or maybe offer like if group work something that suits her. I'm thinking like could she offer something around like getting ready for exams or like something quite specific that has like a bit of a niche and then that brings in people and fills up that group. um for like Dee saying she's also got contacts with businesses that provide alternative provision and it's often daytime, so maybe just actually exploring what that could look like. And seeing if a different income could come in that way for her.
I feel like we didn't ask Gillian whether she needs to choose for online or whether she's able to go into schools, because
Yes,
that
we
would be
didn't ask
relevant
her.
in terms of the different
Yeah.
alternative provision options, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was also wondering if a clarifying question I didn't ask and I should have done is her son's doing his homework at school. Is that for convenience, or like if he could get home earlier than 7:30, would that mean that they could have dinner together? Or like I'm just thinking now could have asked some more questions around that of like his schedule. That seems a really long day for him. Um,
Sorry. Sorry.
are you okay, Michael? Sorry, is it somebody
Yeah,
else in the
yeah,
room?
Sorry, yeah, no, sorry, it's just the door opened. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's all right. Has anyone got any other ideas?
I was wondering about, I often find that even just giving one of mine, just giving him a lift to the station, and it's really only 7 minutes down the road, but it means that we both start our day with having had a conversation. So it's quite a powerful little nugget of time.
Yeah, maybe start thinking of like the quality, not the quantity. And would that make it feel easier?
That's 6 minutes, guys.
Yay! Well done, team. Right. Well done, Julia. Excellent timing. See, I'd be hopeless. Right, Gillian, we'll invite you back in and you can just give us just any feedback you've got, any thoughts, ideas, dreams.
Yeah, I've jotted a few things down. I didn't write everything down because I can't write that fast. Working in a school, I'm a bit disabled. So I could, but it's a big deal for me. My disability will improve. I had quite a bad accident in January, so things will gradually improve, but it's not happening at the moment. Or it is improving slowly. The put up prices thing, I always have people telling me to that. I think I charge a lot. But on another chat group a few days ago, people were talking about pricing, and I said that I'm a bit of a coward at putting up prices. And so someone I'd never even met online before dared me to. So I'm going to put up my prices by a small amount shortly. Yeah, I can't remember who said it about giving their child a lift to the station. I have started doing that, and it's quarter of an hour each way. So we do have a conversation in the morning, and that is better than it was. The things to bring an income stream in during the day would work well for me, because that would mean I could finish earlier. I have a couple of home ed students, and a girl in Cambodia, and a few things during the day, but not much. I mean, that would be a really good thing, just to enable me to finish even like an hour earlier in the evening would make a big difference. And my son probably is fine, putting his head around the door and waving at me and the dogs, but I'm not fine. He's, he does love me dearly, but he's quite happy to go through his own life. It's me that's feeling the loss, I think. And he's my youngest, and we'll be heading off to university in 2 years, and that's always like, bearing down on me as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion there, isn't there? It's like a loss. You're grieving a loss of that time you had together. And there's also, I'm hearing, there's been quite a lot of big changes.
Yeah.
It's like your whole routine has changed.
Yeah.
So taking all the ideas, Gillian, what do you feel feel is the next doable step for you? Just one small doable step that can make a little bit of a difference.
The put at the prices. My daughter has she runs my Facebook page for me because I'm fairly technologically inept. And she's going to do it over the next couple of days, put them up on there first, and then when people ring. I've only got about 2 or 3 spaces left. So I was thinking this morning, if I put up my prices and people think it's too much, I've not really lost out, because I've only got 2 or 3 spaces left. So I'm pretty much fully booked. But yeah, putting up the prices, but yeah, no, that's my little step. I think, to start getting a handle
Brilliant.
on this.
And I think people were really generous with saying that like some places that you might be able to contact.
Yes.
So I think if you look in the chat as well, Gillian, there was lots of
Yes.
little ideas flinging around there. So please make sure that you note that all down.
Yeah.
And for anyone else who it wasn't your problem or opportunity or challenge, but has it helped maybe shift anything for you? Like to just have a think, like, is there anything that you've heard here you think, oh, actually I could do that as well, and that might make a little bit of a difference? You don't have to share, but it's always just good to think when we're looking at somebody else's challenge and opportunity, it sometimes releases some things for ourselves as well. We can see into it. So sorry, Dee's just, you can just, so Dee's saying, when I put up my prices, I offered my existing clients the current rate, provided they paid for at least 2 half terms rather than the usual 1 half term. Great. And was that okay, Dee? Did that go down well? Yep.
Yeah, I had I don't have that many who come direct to me. But I think two or three took that option and paid for two half terms. They'll now go up to the new rate if they had that option. One client decided not, so they're still paying a half term in advance at the new rate.
Okay, so it's like you're just giving people the opportunity to make a choice for themselves. And you didn't lose any customers?
No, I didn't have that many coming direct to me, but no, I didn't lose anyone.
I know, I think pricing can feel a bit scary, can't it? Where you think, oh, what will people think? But, you know, yes, there is a living crisis. And so I think actually when you just explain, like, I'm having to just put my price up, but I haven't actually put my prices up for, when was the last time you put your prices up, Gillian?
Last September, like a year ago.
Yeah, so just that year, so you're just going to put it up a little bit.
When I needed to compose that email, I used ChatGPT to help write the email. And it did a really good job. I only had to tweak it slightly, and I'm quite happy to share that with you, Gillian, if that would be helpful.
That would be really helpful, Dee, because I think sometimes just having that blank page is really scary.
Awful.
It's like, oh, what do I say?
If you have a relationship with parents, which we all do if we've been, working with our children for a while, then I think yes, it is scary, but with that relationship in place, it's they will understand why it's happening.
I also put my prices up in September and I didn't lose anybody at all as well, if that gives you confidence. The only one where I didn't, I have a parent where I work with the 2 brothers. One's in year 8 and the other's in year 11. So I said I'll keep it at the same price because they're paying for 2 of them until the year 11 finishes. And then the younger one will go on to the higher price. And other than that, everybody's moved up and not one person complained and I didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, I've seen it from the other side that I had an English tutor for my son leading up to his GCSEs, and she put her prices up. And, tutoring is expensive, but I didn't bat an eyelid as a parent. So I don't know why I think that parents would with me as a tutor. And I tend to have a really good relationship with the parents, but I'm a wuss. I can't. I
don't think you're being a wuss, Gillian. I think it's when it's like the more you need to value the value that you provide. So you think you are giving that young person that hour of devoted attention where, think how diluted it is in a classroom. And you are giving them all of that attention. And just think back of all the children that you have helped and they've managed to achieve what they wanted to achieve. That's the value you are asking for, and you deserve it. Well done, Gillian. You are incredibly brave. Thank you so much for that share.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for your insight.
Well done. Well done. Now that Gillian has been brave, I'm looking at the time, Julie. Are we okay to, if anyone now has experienced through Gillian's bravery what masterminding can look and feel like? Has anyone else got another challenge or opportunity they would like the Hive Mind to work on for them?
I have.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Yeah, let's hear it.
Part of it is I've been doing some work with an agency that works with Vietnamese students. It's I'm looking to get out because I picked up a safeguarding issue and I said, "What's your safeguarding officer?" And he said, "What safeguarding?" I've been trying to report him, and I'm also looking to get out of the situation because they buy 12 weeks in advance. I have asked him to provide me with school addresses so that I'm covered. He didn't even know that, but I'm having difficulty reporting him. I've reported into the borough because I'm not happy at all. Having lots of arguments, and I think my only action will be Ofsted or the police because the borough's not getting back to me, and these kids are all over the country. And it's ridiculous. He didn't even know where some of them were going to school, what county, so it's made it very uncomfortable for me. I didn't realise that was the situation. But clearly it's all about the money. He doesn't know anything about UK legislation. And I'm furious about it, really. And I'm prepared to take a loss in income. That's not the issue. It's obviously children need to be safeguarded. They need to be, and it needs to be according to correct legislation. And no, I don't care what he thinks. He needs to be shut down, in my mind, or go through the appropriate training, so that he can either appoint outsource or whatever he needs to do. But he hasn't even done a safeguarding course level 2 yet, which you can do online. And that's it, really. And it's not fair on the parents because clearly it's just a money gathering of things. And the culture is that they are very strict on their students, and they're forcing them to do these courses. Um, and yeah, they're not fitting into the UK legislation. I'll shut up now.
You don't need to shut up, MJ. That was really good. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that very much a challenge to the group. I'm going to ask
I'll
everyone else now. We've got 3 minutes to ask MJ any clarifying questions,
Oh yeah, okay.
just so that we can understand the situation a little bit more. So there's don't need to put your hand up. It's just a kind of better if it's a free for all because that way everyone just kind of has the chance to speak. One question I had was, are you in a contract with this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And like for T's and C's, you have to give a minute, like notice, or
No,
have you, no, do you have to put anything in writing to say I'm ending my contract with you?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. Is the person, so is the agency in Vietnam?
No, it's here. It's based in Barnet.
So it's okay. But the
Was I
child or children
stupid?
you're worried about, are they in Vietnam?
No, they're here.
They're all UK citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Does anyone have anything else they need to know?
Is it actually held in a school?
No, it's at home.
Right.
So are
And he
you
won't.
doing
He
online
won't.
tutoring?
Yeah, yeah. It's all online.
Okay, any other clarifying questions?
So I'm just going to say, when you've raised the issue before, I'm assuming they've just been totally unreceptive.
Yes, I mean, I've had huge fights with him over the last few weeks when and he just tries to talk about culture, and I said I don't care about culture in when you're dealing with this UK legislation. You have to adhere to that, and if that's because they hit their children if they don't but you don't in the UK. So that's been one of the issues that um he that has happened in the past, but the school picked that up.
Okay.
And so the police went out. So now I'm concerned. And I picked up an issue, when you've got that 95%, okay, it's probably okay. But 5% you might be. So need to contact, need to get hold of it. And I'd just done a safeguarding course, so I had the PDF. I sent it to him, and I said, do not contact the parents. And he did. So
that is, yeah, it's really challenging, and I can hear that the frustration and your anger and outrage that this is happening.
I haven't lost my temper
furious.
that badly. My
No,
daughter's
but you're
actually in the room at the moment. She's come in, and I think Heather, how much was I shouting at him last week?
Yeah, it was like non-stop.
Non-stop. And
nonstop.
the borough haven't got back to me. So today, one of my tasks is probably to phone Ofsted.
Okay.
And I
Thank
know I'll
you.
fill spaces, so somehow.
Mhm.
But then, it leaves the kids in the lurch. But yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, thank you so much. Does anyone else have any other clarifying questions? And then we'll just go straight to the masterminding. So I'll ask MJ to turn off her camera and go on mute, and we'll act as if she's just left the room, and then we just ask you to unmute and put some ideas out there. Julia's timing us 6 minutes. Anyone got any ideas of how MJ can of what she could do, what's possible?
So the safeguarding training that we should all have done, there's always a bit where it says any concerns, you can go to the local authority, isn't it? Don't they have an overarching responsibility for the safety of children and get some advice from them?
Yeah.
NSPCC.
I was about to say NSPCC, because I think Mary Jane was saying that they're in different places around the country, and she doesn't necessarily know, and the agency, whoever they are, don't know where they are in the country to know which LEA to go to.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was just go to the police. In the fact that I think she's tried her best to speak to the man who's sort of like in charge. If he's not receptive to that, and she doesn't know where the children are in the UK. I mean, even if the borough said, "Oh yes, we'll deal with this," that we don't actually know if the children are necessarily all in that area. I just feel it's like she's done as much as she can within her remit, and now I think it needs to be like a police matter. What do other people think?
I think sharing it here is really important, but it definitely needs to be shared outside of here. It might turn out that everything's fine, but somebody needs to investigate it, look at it, and she mustn't be frightened to do that, thinking, oh no, what if it comes back on me? Children are possibly at risk, and to me that's serious.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could hear Mary Jane's like the emotion in her voice, and it is that kind of she's very concerned for these children, and she needs like to know that she's done everything that she can, but then it comes she's going to have to draw a line under it at some point and say, well, that's, but if this person is not following UK legislation, then maybe that needs to be investigated more.
It's definitely that thing. If some sort of disaster happens, as long as you can sit comfortable in how you behaved and reacted and what you did for it, it's that sort of thing. If you look back and think, oh, if only I'd done X, Y, and Z, that is a worse situation to be in than I tried my best.
And so I would say as well, keep really, really good records of every conversation, everything that happens that's of concern. Because obviously the children in this situation are the first priority, but I think protecting yourself legally can't be ignored as well.
I'd say Mary Jane, make sure that she has her support network in place as well, because as she's dealing with this, obviously it is a mental and emotional strain to deal with. So making sure that she takes time for herself away where she can let it go, talking to somebody, even this is great, maybe one-to-one, getting some support though, to make sure that she stays safe in it.
Yes, that's really great advice, Helen. I know, because I think you can get kind of, you're not appreciating the emotional strain it's taking on you and the mental strain of you can see that she's tried like to kind of go down different avenues, and it's that kind of being cut off, like she's not making progress. But she's absolutely trying her best to keep these children safe. I'm just looking in the chat if anyone. Elizabeth saying local authority should be notified. I'm not as well versed in this because the children I work with it's local, but if you didn't know what school the children were at or what the local authority was, how, I know Mary Jane said she was going to phone Ofsted. Does anyone have any ideas of what could how that works?
I don't know how it works, but if I was in this situation, I would just go to my local authority. Someone would give you advice, even if they say it's not us, speak to this person. I'm sure they're not going to turn their back on you.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. And I come from more or less the corporate world rather than the teaching world. But the best practice in the corporate world is that you keep escalating upwards until something gets done. It's as simple as that. And you don't think twice about who am I going to upset, who is this going to annoy. You just keep doing it until it's done. And I would actually, in a situation like this, I would consider somebody like the local MP as somebody where the buck stops, right? That's an elected official. And they have got to do something, right? I mean, to look at it kind of selfishly, it's their career and it's all the stuff that they probably worked for all their lives. So rather than maybe even a professional priority for them, it's a career priority. So they have to do something about things. Maybe, maybe that's not the first step, but it's somewhere in the chain of command would be the local MP, because they're responsible to the people in the area and the services in the area.
That's really great advice, Michael. Maybe it's actually more like a kind of like the blanket cover. You just tell as many people as you can, rather than just thinking it was this person and then it's this person. Maybe it's just, was that the time up, Julia? Thank you very much. Right, Mary Jane, we'll invite you back in.
Mum.
Oh.
Mum.
Kiki, we can hear you, but we really don't mind.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay, love. She sounds completely delightful.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you for that. I have been to the local authority who said it's not my problem. I do know that I've got the addresses of the schools of the students, but he has other tutors. So but I've reported him to Barnet, and I have filled in a math form. And somebody was supposed to call me back about that. I hadn't thought about the NSPCC, so that's a good call. And I think ultimately I have to phone the police. Because it's a danger. It just doesn't know what it's doing.
Mhm.
And then, so I can't, I'm just looking in the chat actually. Yeah, so my local authority is not the one. I've contacted them, but they said, you have to contact this person. So then I looked up, and so I have been trying.
Mary Jane, you absolutely have been doing more than trying. You have been campaigning, and I'm actually really saddened to hear how many people have turned you away.
I'm furious. I mean, because it's just ethically, it's ridiculous. He didn't even know where one of the kid that I had concern about didn't even know what city she was in. So I said, well, what do you do when you register the students? Don't you take their names and addresses? And then he came back. I said, I want the names and addresses of the parents. And he said the parents won't give it to you, but here's the schools. And I said, well, I want the schools, because I knew then I could report it to the school if there was an issue. And so I've got that to cover myself in the interim. But he doesn't realise that I need that information. So I do work for a lot of agencies, and then it's covered, and you've got big red flags or blue whatever reports a safeguarding issue. And he's just taking no notice of it whatsoever. But I am going to phone the NSPCC. I am going to phone the police. And yeah, and Ofsted, and okay. Right, I'm taking that down. I felt as though I'm really grateful, because I thought if I raised it, it might look as though initially when I registered with him, it was an assumption that he had all of these in place. And so maybe I was a bit naive and stupid to think that he had got that. I mean, he even offered me a permanent job, which I was considering until I found out this. And then he said to me,
I think it's like that might have been like an oversight, but then look at what you've done as soon as you found out. So that's just, you would assume, because you're a good person and have good values, that would be all covered because there's an agency. So do you feel your next sort of like doable step is just to make some contacts today to reach out to maybe NSPCC, police, and maybe it's like that kind of like blanket cover effect. It's like you're actually going to tell everyone that you can. That your member of parliament is also a good idea. If they're actually hearing that when you've gone to this number of people, they've actually like passed it back to you as if like, well, that's not my problem.
Yeah, but I'm in Kent. So I don't know that Helen Whately will do very much. She's quite useless. I can try.
What about and then I want to come back to Helen's question. And sorry, I know, Julie, we're near time. What are you doing to support yourself? Who is your support network in this?
Probably my
other than obviously
daughter,
us. Okay.
is getting fed up with it, actually. I
Yeah.
don't blame her. And she doesn't, you know.
Well, see, when you're contacting the NSPCC, is there a way to ask if they have any support for someone who is, you know, going through this, having to report it? They might be able to advise you, because I think it's really important that you have that space to like unpack this.
Mm.
And I appreciate we're doing this like live stream to LinkedIn, so it's not very private. When we do the supervision circles, it is not videoed. They are completely secure. I think it's just really important that you actually recognise that you're doing something that feels really hard and challenging, and you are being like meeting brick walls wherever you go, but you're not giving up. But that is exhausting, and emotionally, it's takes its toll. So it's just what could we do to support you?
Can I just chip in a sort of thought I've had is a learning experience for all of us. I'm assuming that when you signed up, because of the situation you've now ended up in, he maybe didn't ask you if you had a DBS. Have you done all this training? Can I put you through this training? So maybe red flags for any organisation that's trying to employ you, me, any of us in the future.
Yeah, he did.
All right, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, he did want DBS. I'm feeling he did the safeguarding. Interestingly, they have a safeguarding policy on their website, which everything says report to the police. Very badly written. So I think they thought that covered them, but they didn't. None. If he hasn't done it, and he's the founder, then obviously there's an issue. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel you have a plan of action that you feel you can take today, and then perhaps we could? I'm very happy to check in with you later in the week if that would help.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Maybe if we could just.
Because I also find myself getting wound up when I'm tutoring the few students that I've got left with him.
Mm-hmm.
I've pinched one, to be honest. And yeah, it would help.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'll get in touch with you once this is over, and we can maybe have a little time. We could just touch base again, see how you are.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't realise it was actually stressing me so much. So you said, yeah. Okay.
I can hear it in your voice, but your voice has actually, you could hear the tension in your voice when you spoke about it. It's that absolute frustration at the unjustness of it, and the fact you're trying so hard to help. And it's almost like everywhere you go, someone's saying it's not really my problem. Safeguarding is everyone's problem.
Exactly.
It's everyone's responsibility. If I was walking down the street and I was concerned about a child, I'd go to the police station.
Yeah.
And say I'm concerned about this child. If it turns out that it's absolutely nothing at all, fine.
No, but he should.
No harm done.
It doesn't matter if there's no. The issue is, if there are no concerns, he should still have that support network in place.
Yes, of
That's
course.
my issue.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that share today, Mary Jane. That was really brave, and I hope it has alleviated a little bit of the tension you're going through, and I hope you don't feel so alone.
No.
Because you're absolutely not. Good. Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. That was brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. What a wonderful, wonderful, caring community and support network you are for everybody. That is beautiful. I'm going to pass back over to Julia. Thank you so much for everyone's time today. and all your supportive masterminding ideas.
It's
Thank,
absolutely
thank you,
beautiful.
Jack, for guiding us. That was great, and thank you
That's
for those
right.
who've contributed. It's been really, really good.
It's it feels so wholesome, doesn't it? It feels like we're each going through the same thing, and by opening it up, and that hive mind process felt really wholesome to me, and helpful. So I wanted to let you know that tomorrow's session at 2 p.m. is small business support with Tracy Robertson. And I wanted to let you know that Jacqueline is kindly doing one more full-blown supervision circle for us next Thursday. And that's going to be an opportunity for us to put all the pieces that we've just experienced together in one long session. And that is the last free taster of supervision circles before we start next Friday proper. There is a fortnightly program over 12 weeks that we've invited you guys to sign up for. The special link will be available for members in the newsletter tomorrow. So you can find supervision circles on the qualifiedtutor.org website. And if you are a QT member, you have a very lovely discount, which Hannah will be putting in your members newsletter tomorrow. So if you're not yet a member of QT, it's jolly well time you became one. I hope you see that we are growing together in these shared conversations, and that they're making a palpable difference. I see it in you. And I think Jacqueline's beginning to see it as well. It's a joy to be able to make this change happen together. Next week is 9 a.m. on Thursday. That's exactly right. And then supervision circles proper start the day after. So there is so much happening here, and we're supporting each other. Thank you so much for participating in this really gorgeous high trust session. I finish on time because that's how we roll. So I am going to thank my lovely friends. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Dee. Thanks, Gillian. Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Helen. Thanks, MJ. Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks, Olga. Thanks, Kiki. It's been fantastic to participate in this conversation with you. Thanks. Bye. Have a great day.